What if I told you there are fundamentally two different ways to experience the world? And what if understanding that difference could change how you approach, well, pretty much everything? That's exactly what we're going to dig into.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. What does success actually mean to you? Seriously, take a second. Is it a job title, a number in your bank account, a happy family? Whatever just popped into your head, you used a word, a label, to describe it. But here's the twist. What if that very label is what's holding you back from the real thing?
You see, the words we use for all the big things in life, love, success, happiness, who we even are, they're super useful, no doubt, but they're also tiny. They're like trying to understand the entire ocean by just scooping up one little cup of water. I mean, sure, what's in the cup is real water, but it completely misses the sheer scale, the depth, the power, the currents, the absolute mystery of the whole ocean. The reality of something is always, always bigger and more alive than the little word we slap on it. Okay, so if our words are just the cup, how do we start to actually see the ocean? Well, it all begins with understanding that there are basically two states of reality we can tap into. First, there's something we can call the nameless. This is just the world of pure, raw potential. Think about the internet back in the very, very early days. It wasn't websites or apps. It was just a network, a formless, buzzing potential for anything. It was everything before it was any specific thing. That's the nameless. And then you have the named. This is the world we deal with every single day. It's what happens when we take all that raw potential and start giving it names, shapes, and jobs to do. With the internet, this was when we built websites, created social media, made apps. The simple act of naming it and organizing it created the world we can actually interact with. All right, so we've got these two realities, right? This vast, nameless potential and the organized, named world we live in. And this means we also have two totally different lenses that we can use to see everything. So let's break them down. First, you've got the participant. This is your get-it-done mode. It kicks in when you have a goal, a desire. You're focused on the specific steps, the details, the how-to. Then there's the observer. This is your being mode. This is when you let go of trying to achieve anything and just become aware. You're not trying to do anything, and suddenly you start to see the bigger mystery, how it's all connected. I know, this can sound a little abstract, so let's make it super concrete with a quick story. Let's talk about two people who go for a hike. Our first hiker is a total participant. They've got one clear goal: get to the summit. So what's their focus? It's on the named stuff, the map, the trail signs, their watch to track their pace. They're in full-on doing mode. For them, a successful hike means one thing: they reach the peak. Mission accomplished. But then we have our second hiker. They're an observer. They don't really have a destination. They're just walking. And because they're not laser focused on a goal, they start to notice other things. The smell of the pine trees, the sound of the wind moving through the leaves, the feeling of sunlight on their skin. They're experiencing the nameless mystery of the forest, and they just feel this sense of connection to it all. So now we have the focused doer and the present observer. They seem like total opposites, don't they? And that brings us to the most important question in all of this, the real aha moment. Which hiker is doing it the right way? Is it better to be the participant who gets stuff done, or the observer who feels that deep connection? The answer is that it's the wrong question. It's not one or the other. And here's the secret. They aren't enemies. They're not two opposing forces. The participant and the observer, the doer and the seer, they actually come from the exact same source. They're just different expressions of the same thing. Kind of like two sides of the very same coin. And getting that, really getting that they are unified, that's what we could call the profound. It's the kind of deep wisdom that doesn't come from picking a side, but from learning how to hold both of these views at the same time. This is the gateway to a way more effective way of living. So how do we actually apply this? Think of it just like breathing. It's the perfect analogy. You need to both inhale and exhale to live, right? You can't just do one. The inhale, that's your observer mode. You're being present, you're taking things in, you're receiving. The exhale, that's your participant mode. You're taking action, creating, making things happen in the world. So here's the bottom line. True effectiveness in life doesn't come from being a doer all of the time or a beer all the time. It comes from learning how to flow between them. To feel the rhythm of when to push forward toward a goal and when to pause, get still, and just observe what's happening.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you feel stuck, or overwhelmed, or you just don't know what to do next, instead of pushing harder, what would happen if you just switched modes? What if you stopped, took a deep breath, and really, truly listened? Not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Who knows? The answer you're looking for might be waiting right there for you, in the silence.